Howdy, sports fans, and welcome to the set of You Say Maize, I Say Blue. I am your host, Chris Cichon, joined this week by good friend Andrew Olmsted, who's sitting in for Danny, the DJ Sass. You know, Danny will be making an appearance later in the show. We'll keep that for a surprise, Andrew, but great to have you on the set. How you doing this week?
Great.
Feeling pretty good,
here,
enjoying the weather, are you?
I'm picking
You got
up.
the bright colors on.
Yeah, you know.
Very good. Very good. Well, Andrew, you know how we do things on the show. You can go ahead and say maize. I'm going to say blue, as in it was so windy on campus today, I nearly blew over. Right there in the middle of the diag.
Sure. Okay, well, with that, I'm going to say maize. I've been searching for something unique to say for maize, and in searching, I came across the tiny town of Maize, Kansas.
Wow.
And according to the website for Maize, Kansas, Maize prides themselves on their low crime rate and the integrity of its citizens.
Very nice, very nice.
Cichon,
Kansas. Hopefully they're getting this episode.
Cichon, speaking of crimes and issues of integrity,
who would that be?
We have a fraud, or as we have on the graphics, a roid, Alex Rodriguez, making some headlines, admitting to have used steroids after, on several occasions, denying these allegations.
Yeah.
Cichon, what does this do in terms of his legacy and for baseball in general?
You know, I think A-Rod thought that, you know, I can be unlike Barry Bonds, I can be unlike Roger Clemens. Let me just get this out, put it in the open. I still got, you know, probably a decade left in my playing career. I'm still right in the middle of my prime, one of the best players in the game still. Throw this out there. The fans are going to forget about it, and I can still be a Hall of Famer. I think that's probably what he was thinking. I think a lot of people, a lot of baseball writers and voters, they might feel that way. I don't think so, because I still don't think he's telling the full truth in what you saw in that Peter Gammons interview on ESPN. To me, there's still something fishy going on here. He's not telling us everything. He's only telling us what he has to, so we get off his back and we stop asking him about performance enhancers. Right. I mean, he's still not telling us everything there, Andrew.
I think you're right. I think there is probably more to this story, and I mean, it's obvious now that he has lied multiple times about this in the past, so there's no reason to expect that this is the full extent of the story at this point. Yeah. I think it only gets deeper from here. What does this really mean in terms of all of baseball? Not just for him. Does this speak more for the whole of baseball? Yeah,
and I'm going to talk about this later in Big C Spree, actually. I think, I mean, it just confirms the inevitable, the things that's been our mind. You know, there's guys that we thought, like A-Rod was considered, you know, the clean guy, the superstar baseball player in today's game that is so good, but he's clean. He's not like Barry Bonds. He's not like McGwire or Sosa. He's clean. He's going to eventually break, you know, now Barry Bonds' home run record, become the all-time home run champion when it's all said and done. But now, you know, we can't look forward to that as baseball fans anymore, Andrew, because we know that Alex Rodriguez wasn't clean. So who's it going to be? I mean, we have to wait for some, you know, 5-year-old kid growing up now to come up and hopefully be good enough to break this record. Otherwise, there's always going to be a steroid user at the top of the list.
Right. That's absolutely it, Cichon. That's why this is so disappointing, is because, like you said, A-Rod was the clean hope for baseball. Yeah. He was the hope that, I mean, it wasn't going to happen in the next couple seasons, but down the road, he would have hopefully broken Hank Aaron's record. Mm-hmm. We're not going to talk about the Barry Bonds record because that's the one with the asterisk. We would have had a home run leader without an asterisk again. Yep. And things would have been clean, and baseball would have come back. And we would have had the rebirth, the revival of baseball, if you will. Yep. And it's gone. There's no front-running clean hopes right now at this point. And I mean, it's just really, really disappointing.
That interview I've watched so many times. It was a 40-minute interview. I've watched the whole thing, and it just seems that he's still hiding something. He's not telling us everything that we can know, and that's just sad. I mean, if you're going to tell us the truth, tell us the whole truth, please, A-Rod. Let's move on to something a little bit better here in the news, closer to home in Ann Arbor. Michigan basketball faced the #1 team in the country, UConn, on Saturday night over there at UConn, Andrew, and they lost by 8 points. Actually had a 1-point halftime lead. You know, where do they go from here now? They got 7 games left in the season. They got Michigan State on Tuesday night, big game at home. I guess they pretty much have to win that game to get into the NCAA tourney.
Yeah, you know, they're in a tough bind right now because you go in and you play the #1 team in the country on the road. You'd like to look at this and say it's a moral victory. I don't like that term, but you'd like to be able to take something out of it. But because it's late in the season and at this point needing the wins that you need, you can't dwell on this game at all.
Don't give me that moral victory.
You have to turn right around and you have to beat this Michigan State team at home. This is a very, very important game for this Michigan team.
Oh, yeah.
Because the games are running out and they need some more impressive wins. This resume right now is not going to get them into the tournament. They need probably at least 4 more good wins in this last, 6 or 7 games that are coming up. And they need them now.
I give them, they're 15-9 right now. I give them, give you 5 more wins and you got a pretty good shot at getting maybe into the NCAA tournament.
I think 20 is a good magic number.
That's a good number. That's usually the number, 20, especially in the Big Ten. But you look at their schedule, I mean, 7 games left. Michigan State on Tuesday, then they got to go to Northwestern on Sunday. That's always tough to play there. They still got to play Minnesota twice, who's been in the top 25 regularly this season. Iowa, big game with Purdue at Wisconsin. That's going to be tough for them to win 5 games.
Very few easy games on the schedule.
Yeah, I think they need to, win the games you should win. Beat Iowa at home, take care of Northwestern this weekend. And if you win a few games, at least lock up the NIT, because I don't think the NIT berth is solid yet either, the way college basketball is and how widespread the talent is in there. I think the NIT is going to be difficult to get into. No, here's the stat I want to throw out there while we got time. 47-24. That's the rebounding edge that UConn had over Michigan. You going to win basketball games playing like that, Andrew?
No, I mean, you're not. You're not. Yeah, I mean, you're not going to fool anybody. You're not going to win games with that.
To beat.
I will say, though, Cichon, in the first half, Michigan scored more points in the paint than UConn did.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's good stat.
Something not a lot of people realize. But, I mean, they did. They have been able to get it done, just not over a consistent 2 halves of basketball.
Right.
And that's been the shortcoming this season. Okay, we're going to switch gears. We're going to talk a little more Michigan sports. Michigan hockey this past weekend.
A little better.
Sweeping Lake Superior State, the Lakers. Good sweep. Coming up with Nebraska, Omaha. How do you feel about this team right now?
Well, I mean, it's good to get to sweep at home, win the games you're supposed to win. Now they got another 2 this upcoming weekend against Nebraska, Omaha, like you said. And Nebraska, Omaha, here's the thing. I mean, this weekend you got this team. They're number 6 in the CCHA, an above 500 team in Nebraska, Omaha. Pretty good team. I've actually seen. Yeah, respectable team. But then in 2 weeks they go to Columbus for a 2-game set against the Buckeyes, who's actually number 4 in the CCHA, nipping on the Wolverines' heels. So don't overlook, though, Nebraska, Omaha. Win the games that you should win. Keep gathering your points in the CCHA. They're only 6 behind Notre Dame for first place, 2 behind Miami. They could be in second place, in this league in a couple weekends here. They're 21-9. Here's my thing. First of all, that penalty kill is just so darn good for Michigan. I think that's why, they're number 4 now in the country. They're looking like one of the top teams. They're just so darn good. And then the firepower. Louis Caparuso, I don't know if you know this, Andrew, but Louis Caparuso leads the nation in goals scored, 22 goals.
Wow.
And, that's saying something coming from Michigan. Kevin Porter was here last year. He couldn't accomplish that last year. So he's doing a darn good job.
Yeah, and you hit it on the head. Ohio State, a very good team that they're going to have to play. That's going to be tough. I don't think they're going to be overlooking Nebraska, Omaha, because they're playing such good hockey right now, like you touched on. Just playing really well all around. I don't think they have too much to worry about. I think they will clean up these games against Nebraska, Omaha. I like their outlook. I don't know.
Yeah. These guys are really turning it on too. Guys like Aaron Peluja had a couple assists over the weekend. Matty Rust had a couple goals on Friday night. 6-2 they won.
6-2 and 2-1 against.
I got a little closer game there on Saturday night. Here's the thing though for me, they finally got Brian Hogan in net. What do you think Billy Sauer's saying sitting there? I mean, he was a senior sitting on the sidelines. The guy was in between the pipes every game last year. Just about took him all the way to the Frozen Four. His last 2 years, he can't beat Notre Dame, giving up rebounds to Notre Dame. That's the MO on Billy Sauer's career. It's a tough way to go out, Billy. Tough way to go out, but he needs to stay ready. I think we can both agree on that, Olmsted.
Absolutely.